Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. In our today's lecture, we are going to learn about the network address translation. It is also called NAT. So within any company, every machine has a unique address in the form of something like 10.x.y.z. So suppose is there any organization, and in that organization there are 2000 peoples are there. So for each and every device allocated to that person has their own IP addresses, something like 10.2.0.0. So when the packet leaves the company premise, it passes through the NAT box that converts the internal IP source address 10.0.0.1. So first let's understand why we need the network address translation. So because there are, suppose we'll considering the IPv4 addresses, so there are only 4.2 billion IPv4 addresses are there. So and the population in the world is very high, because each and every person uses more than one devices. Suppose one person has a laptop, a tablet, phone and PC. So one person needs 4 IP addresses, so that this IP addresses is not enough. So for that we are translating IP addresses. The main work of NAT is it converts the public IP addresses to the private and the private IP addresses to the public. So when first each and every device is located with the private IP addresses, and when it connects to the internet, when someone wants to communicate to the other person through the internet, at that time that private IP address is converted to the public IP addresses. And when it gets the response from internet, so at that time the public IP address is converted into the private IP addresses. So that is that converting work is done by the network address translation. So that is the need of NAT. So as I said that when the packet leaves the premises of that organization, means it leaves the network of that organization and connect to the internet. At that time it converts the IP address. Suppose the public IP address is 10.x.y.z. So it is converted into the public IP addresses such like 10.0.0.1. So that is the main concept behind the network address translation. So network address translation box is often combined in a single device firewall, or it is also integrated with the company's router. So in both the device we can integrate this concept, so that is used to convert the IP addresses. Whenever an outgoing packet enters to the NAT box, suppose 10.x.y.z is the IP, so that is replaced by the company's true IP addresses, which is a public IP. In addition, TCP port field is replaced by an index into the NAT box and through translation. So there are many devices is connected through LAN. So suppose the IP address is given like that. Suppose this is one example. So here 7 devices is connected through one LAN. So each and every device has IP such like that 10.0.0.1, and the second device has the IP 10.0.0.2, such like that. So the last has a 10.0.0.7. so this is how the IP address is given. Now these are the private IP addresses, and now one of the device wants to communicate over the internet. So at that time it passes through the NAT box. So at that time the packet is translated before the transmission. So here this is the IP addresses before the translation, and when it is converted, when it is passes through the NAT box, now it is converted like 198.60.42.12. so this is the public IP addresses. Moreover, the port number is also assigned at that time. Suppose TCP port is 80 and multiple requests is given through one client. So at that time the different for each and every request a different port number is also assigned. So that is done with the network address translation. So this entry contains the original IP addresses and original source port. So in this here the one table is maintains in, and in that table the original IP addresses or the private IP addresses as well as its port number and the converted IP addresses is also maintained. So why we need to maintain this? Because when it request is going through internet and after that the response is getting from the internet. So when the response is getting through the internet, at that time netbox is also used to convert that public IP into the private IP, and that and after converting it into the private IP, then after it reaches to the that particular destination. Finally, both the IP and TCP header checksums are also recomputed and inserted into the packets. When it is received through the internet, at that time the checksum is also recomputed, and if there is a change in the checksum values, at that time the received packet is discarded. So this figure is shown the working of network address translation. So that is about the network address translation. Next is a subnetting in the network. So what is the word or what is the meaning of subnetting? So subnetting means, suppose there is one big large network and we are dividing that big large network into the multiple networks, so that sub-networks are called the subnets, and based on that the network, based on that the process is called the subnetting of the network. So the network divided into a small networks is called the subnet networks. And what are the benefits of that? So first is reduce the network traffic. So second is optimized network performance, and third is a simplified network management. So suppose let's understand it with one example. So suppose there is one organization or one college, and it has a multiple departments like library, examination, placement, and students section. So each and every department is provided with each and every department is connected through one big network. So suppose we'll place one person to maintain that whole network. So that is a very difficult task for that person also. So that is why we are dividing the data, we are dividing that big network into the sub parts, so we can easily manage that networks. Also the traffic can also be reduced. So that is why the subnetting concept is introduced. So this is a figure that showed this figure is shown that this is a big single network, and after the subnetting, this is divided into the 4 different networks, and the divided networks is called the subnet networks. So subnetting is the process of dividing the single networks into the multiple sub networks, and the numbers of subnetworks created depends upon the requirements. So to allow the single network address to span the multiple physical networks is called the subnet addressing or subnet routing or subnetting, and the subnetting is required parts of IP addressing. So this is one example. Here this is one big network, and it has a many addresses, network addresses. Suppose because it is start with the 200, so it is belonging into the class C addresses. So the network IP address is something like that, 200.100.10.0/24. So because it is represented by /n, so it is not a classful address, it is a classless address. Now this is a one big network, and the situation is before subnetting. So it needs to maintain the many addresses in that one single network. But after subnetting, it is divided into these 2 subnets. So as you can see that before subnetting there are 256 addresses, and after subnetting in one network there is only a 128 addresses. So to maintain that address is a very easy task. Also security wise it is a very useful, because the bigger the network, the possibility of possibility of errors is also more. So that is why we are using the subnetting to divide the networks and to increase the performance of the network. Now how we can calculate the subnets of any IP addresses. So the subnet mask code is something like that. 1 represents the network address and 0 represents the host address. So now we already know that the any IP addresses is a combination of host address and a network address. So in that IP addresses, the network address is represented with the 1 bits and the host address is represented with the 0 bits. So this is one example here. If this IP address 200.100.10.0, so because it is a class C address, so the first 3 digits are the network address and the last one is a host address. So we'll convert into, because first 3 is a network, so we can represent it with the 1 digit. So 1111.1111 dot again this and dot, because the last is 0 and you can the host address is represented with the 0, so 0000 and 0000. So this is how we can represent subnetting networks. So this is how we can divide each class address into the default submask. In the class A, first is a network and second is a host. So the last 3 digits are last 3 bytes are the host address. So we can represent it like 255.0.0.0, same as in the B. First 2 are the networks, last 2 are the host, so 255.255.0.0. In the C, first 3 are the network and last one is a host, so we can represent like 255.255.255.0. so these are the default subnet mask of this class addresses. Now next is a masking. What is the masking? So the process that extract the address of physical network from an IP address is called the masking. Now we are dividing our network into the multiple networks, so we need to identify the IP address of that particular network. So that is done with the masking. We are extracting the IP addresses from the physical IP addresses from the given IP addresses. So if we done with the subnetting, then the masking extract the subnetwork address of the IP addresses. So there are 2 methods for that. First is a boundary level masking and no boundary level masking. So in the boundary level masking, 2 masking numbers are considered, 0 and 255. So and in non-boundary level masking, the other values are used. Suppose the IP address is like address is something like that, 192.168.1.0. So now in the boundary level method masking, we are only considering these boundaries. So the boundary values are 192 and 0, so we'll replace it with the 255 dot, and this is represent place 0. And now this inner values are called the non-boundary level masking, and that is this value used for this method. So we'll write 168.1. so this is how we can create the masking. So that is all about the masking. So that is all about the subnetting in a network. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening.